The funeral man. I first saw him at my grandfather's funeral, standing near the casket with a knowing smile. The problem was, I had seen this man before, at another funeral, years ago, and he hadn't aged a day. I'm Ethan Grayson, a journalist specializing in unsolved mysteries. My grandfather, Walter Grayson, passed away at 83, and while his death was expected, something at his funeral wasn't. Among the mourners, I spotted a man with slicked back hair and an old-fashioned grey suit. I recognized him instantly. The last time I had seen him was at my father's funeral when I was 10 years old. He looked exactly the same, down to the smallest detail. I tried convincing myself it was just an eerie coincidence, maybe a resemblance. But as I watched him, a strange sense of unease settled over me. He didn't just look familiar. He was identical, as if frozen in time. I needed to find out who he was. After the service, I approached him. "Excuse me, sir, did you know my grandfather?" He turned to me, his smile never faltering. "Yes, Ethan, we've met before." My stomach tightened. "But where did we met?" His eyes glimmered. "At your father's funeral." A chill ran through me. "But that was 20 years ago." He nodded. "Yes, it was 2 decades ago." Something in his tone made me step back. I wanted to ask more, but in the next moment, someone called my name, and when I turned back, the man was gone. That night, I searched through my father's funeral photos. My breath caught when I found it. A picture of the man, standing in the exact same position near the casket, wearing the same suit with the same smirk. I started digging. I checked my grandfather's belongings, searching for any clue. Hidden in an old wooden box, I found a newspaper clipping from 1953. The headline read, "Mysterious stranger appears at local funerals, never ages." The grainy photo in the article showed the same man. I wasn't sure what I was dealing with, but I knew I had to find him. With the help of my friend Lisa, a genealogist, I scoured historical records. We found dozens of reports spanning nearly a century, all describing the same man attending funerals. Different names, different locations, same face. Lisa dug deeper and found an old address linked to him, a house on the outskirts of town. We drove there the next evening. The house was an abandoned Victorian, the kind that looked like a place where secrets went to die. Inside, dust coated every surface, but there were recent footprints. We found a room filled with newspaper clippings, obituaries, each one marked with a red circle. My grandfather's name was on the most recent one. The sudden sound behind us, as we turned around, we saw him standing in the doorway. "You shouldn't have come here," he said, his voice eerily calm. His smile faded. "I have walked this earth for longer than you can comprehend, Ethan. I do not take life. I merely witness its departure. Why my family? Why do you watch us?" He stepped closer. "Because your bloodline carries something unique. A connection to what lies beyond." Before I could ask more, he reached out, his fingers grazing my forehead. My vision blurred, and for a split second I saw darkness, endless, consuming darkness, with thousands of whispering voices calling my name. I gasped, stumbling backward. Lisa pulled me away, and we ran. We never spoke of that night again, but I continued to see him, at strangers' funerals. Months later, I received a letter in the mail with no return address, just a single sentence. "I will see you again, Ethan, when it's time."